Chapter 367. Sean shivered in shock from his mother's ferocious remark. Just because he had caused a scene with Alex, not only did Paisel not want to help him, but he wanted to cut ties with his whole family too. What kind of drug had Alex fed him that he was so mesmerized and bewitched by him? Agitated and enraged, Sean suppressed his emotions and said, "Mom, that old coot is unreliable. He's a crook." Agatha shouted angrily, "I don't care what you do, but you'd better bring Paisel to Westcliff on my 84th birthday to check on me and treat my old illnesses. If you don't, just wait and see." People were more selfish as they got older. The older they were, the more afraid they were of death, wishing to live for as long as they could. Agatha didn't want to know about the feud between Sean and Paisel. All she hoped for was for Paisel to remain as her personal doctor. With Paisel around, she could probably live until over 90 years old for sure, but without him, she might not even be able to pass this year's hurdle. Sean was bummed out by his mother's scornful blame. He wanted to explain himself and complain, but Agatha didn't want to hear any of it. She ordered her demands and immediately ended the call. Exasperated, Sean vented his anger by smashing the furniture and breaking things in the room. Finally, he picked up his phone to call Paisel, trying to ask for his forgiveness and beg him to continue treating his mother. However, Paisel's phone was turned off. It made Sean even more frustrated. However, he didn't dare to disobey his mother, so he quickly put on his clothes, went out of the house, and drove to Paisel's clinic. The clinic's door was shut tight when he arrived at the entrance. Sean grit his teeth in agitation when suddenly, he saw two figures walking out of the dark alley not far from him. One of them was limping and looked quite familiar to him. Sean quickly hid around the corner to observe them closely. As they were approaching him, he saw that it was a man in his 50s with a young man in his 20s walking together. The young man was leaning on a crutch in one hand and a huge green gasoline drum in the other. The middle-aged and slightly balding man was supporting the limping young man with one hand and also carrying another green gasoline drum in the other. Sean recognized the young man. He was being kicked out of the clinic when he had come to seek Paisel's treatment today. It seemed that the men were attempting to set fire to Paisel's clinic since Paisel refused his service. The young man was Albert Warner, the guy that had offended Alex in the hospital and had been thrown out of the window by Don Steven. The incident had broken his legs, which resulted in his limping. He hated Alex for what had happened to him. He planned to find Paisel to treat his injuries before going after Alex to settle the score, and yet, Paisel didn't even let him into his clinic. He returned to the hospital and complained to his father, Henry Warner. Agitated, they had bought 2 barrels of gasoline and decided to burn Paisel's clinic down. They planned to set the Serene World Clinic on fire to teach Paisel a lesson, and then find a way to seek revenge from Alex. At this moment, Sean heard Albert ask Henry, "Dad, do you think the old coot lives in the clinic?" "How would I know?" Henry said coldly. "Besides, who cares? If he does live inside, it serves him right to be burned to death." "Damn, how dare he be so ignorant to you? Damn it." Albert cursed in dismay, "Damn it, the old coot doesn't even want to help me. Burning him to death is such a cheap lesson for him."